Howdy. Today is less of a build video, I guess, and more of just a, hey, let's talk about this big peepee dude and how massive his personality is. And said person is Lavos. He's actually pretty snazzy. So I just got him very recently. The Lord himself, Mr. Watermelon the Exotic, was very kind and gifted me Lavos. And so, of course, I had to make him work. I got some Platty Watty from the Choo Choo as well after that, from when he bought the Prime Access, so I immediately bought this very snazzy Kuveil skin. The Plague Doctor one is pretty cool too, but I like this one more. So here's the fashion on Lavos for anyone interested in that. And this isn't really a build video. I just kind of wanted to talk about Lavos. I haven't used him extensively yet. Still, leveling him up. As you can see, he's pretty far down on the usage. How the hell is my Sebagoth Prime lower than my Octavia? This makes Jade. How is Jade higher? I don't know. Some of this doesn't make any sense, but you get the point, right? I haven't played him a ton yet, and I just wanted to talk about some stuff that he does, right? Like, so for those that don't have him or don't know anything about him, he has ability cooldowns. Instead of energy, he has no energy amount. He just has cooldowns, which is interesting. Dang it, why do I have a helmet on this build? Fuck. There we go. Right, so 8 seconds. This dash, he's got like a little Ophidian Bite. It does toxin damage. And it heals health. He throws his snakes out and they bite stuff and it heals them. His second ability, it's like a dash thing that throws little cold bile thingies all over the place. His third ability electrocutes enemies, and every time it hits an enemy, it also reduces the cooldown of your abilities. And it converts orbs into universal orbs. Now, a universal orb, it converts health orbs or energy orbs into universal orbs. And universal orbs give you both health and energy. It just turns into a super orb that does both. It also converts ammo pickups into universal ammo pickups, which is extra nice. Like, look at that normal ammo pickup right there. Hang on, I almost have my third. Bam, now it's a universal, so it will give ammo for any weapon, including arc guns. So that's interesting. And his fourth ability is just like a nuke, basically. It sends out all these little drones that apply heat to everything. Now, he also has his passive where if you hold cast an ability, you can add an elements. So adding an elements will add a second instance of damage to the abilities over the first one. So holding the first adds toxin, holding the second adds cold, holding the third adds electric, and holding the fourth adds heat. And you can combine them for a secondary stat. So like I made toxin, so then let's hold circle, bam, now I have corrosive. And that will be alongside the already inherent status on ability. So now like my first ability will do toxin and corrosive at the same time. Very, very snazzy. And it also, because it's a second instance of damage, you get more damage because you do this. So you can see I did 200 there. Hang on, wait for this to end. Da, 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 da. There we go. See, it's literally double the damage by adding that. You double your damage and you can add another status effect. So that's pretty cool. He also has it so that ability duration affects status duration on everything in your loadout, your weapons, everything, right? Like, so you can make your weapons and stuff and your abilities have really long status duration by building duration, which is also very epic. He also has very high base health and shields and armor, so he's quite tanky. His efficiency, instead, because he doesn't have energy, what efficiency does is it makes it so his third ability reduces the cooldowns even further when you hit stuff. So normally it's 1.5 seconds per hit for all your abilities, but add streamline, now it's 1.95 seconds. So that's pretty snazzy. He's a very interesting Warframe. On top of all of that, because he doesn't really need the universal part of universal orbs, if you pick up a universal orb from making it one out of your third, it gives you complete status immunity for 10 seconds. This guy's got a lot of freaking stuff going on, like a million passives. It's kind of insane. Very, very strong. Now, Lavos is pretty widely considered a extremely strong Warframe nowadays, but it's really only due to his augments, his new ones specifically. But I don't think you need his augments for him to be good. So I don't have his augment anymore, the one that lets you infuse an element to your weapons. And maybe I'll go over that in a future video, but that's the main one that makes him so overpowered. The reason people use him a lot. Because it lets you add any of the elements that you want to your weapons, and said weapons then have a guaranteed status proc on every hit, which is very, very strong. And then on top of that, there's also this other augment, Swift Bite, and people use this because it makes it so you can reduce the cooldowns of your abilities when you hit 4 or more enemies with your first ability. And people always say that you have to have this for Lavos to be usable. But I actually don't think that's the case. Yes, it helps, but I don't think you need it for Lavos to be usable. Like, he is a interesting build, I guess. I need to get an Aura Forma and put it on him so that I can change this, because I think Corrosive Projection would be better here. But right now it's a mecha set, because I was using mecha stuff and I thought that was pretty interesting on him. But we can take Swift Bite off. You can use Archon Continuity to get a free Corrosive proc on your 1. So then, like, let's say you infused Viral, you could have Viral, Toxin, and Corrosive on your 1, which is funny. And then Archon Vitality gives a second heat proc, so if you put heat on any of these, there's 2 heat procs. You can put a heat proc on your, or a heat infused on your 4, which already has heat, so there's 2, and both those are doubled from Vitality, so you then get 4 heat procs for even bigger nuke damage. Now his 4th ability also doubles the damage it does for every status effect on the enemy. So it normally does 2,000. But if there's 1 status on the enemy, it's 4,000. There's 2 statuses, it's 8,000. 3 statuses, 16,000. And 32,000, 64,000, 128,000. 256,000. Just keeps going up. It's ridiculous the amount of damage you can get it to do if you have a crap ton of statuses on the enemy. So you really want statuses all over the place. Now, I really like using the mecha set. It's actually pretty cool with him. But I think the best option is actually a Hound, because Hounds have like the highest, just tons amounts of status is spreading in the game, I'd say. They're very good. Like, look at this. I can spread Radiation, Electric, Puncture, Impact, Viral, and Magnetic, all with 1 ability on Reaper Audit, which it can then spam, and Manifold Bond lets it spam it all over the place. So that's very, very strong. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Add in heat, 7. Double the damage 7 times. Plus we get 4 massive heat procs. You can do some big PP nuking with him. Now, the reason people won't think you need Swift Bite is because of the cooldowns he normally has. Actually, I want to take this guy off. But they're actually not that bad if you really know what to do with your 3. Right? Like, abilities. His 1 has 8 seconds. His 2 has 5 seconds. His 2 is kind of a doo-doo ability, though. His 3 has 10 seconds, and his 4 is 30 seconds. So, like, let's say I use my abilities, and then I throw my 3rd ability out. Look, they're all back. And my 3rd ability is only on a 10-second cooldown. The only reason you would need Swift Bite is if you're constantly spamming your abilities, right? You just rotate back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just going through all your abilities. And yeah, that's fun sometimes for some people. but you don't have to just constantly cycle abilities in this game. We do have guns and stuff as well. I think people are just way too used to having Warframes where they can just use abilities and that be the only thing they ever do. But I don't think that has to be the case. So Lavos is perfectly fine in my opinion without either of his augments, because he still has pretty tanky amounts of tankiness. I don't know why I worded that so weirdly, but he's pretty tanky. And he has good healing because it's one siphons health. It steals health, so you can heal yourself. He has tons of elements everywhere, so he can prime the crap out of enemies. He has, even though it kind of sucks, a movement tool that is quite fast. And he has a nuke ability. And he's quite snazzy. And all of the status applying is really nice priming for your team. So he's really good for your team as well. I quite like it. Here, so let's come back down here, because I want to show doing some juicy damage here. So like, hang on. Whoa. So I use this epitaph to prime the enemies. Simulate. I'll add a heat proc in. Then shoot them enough that I get all the statuses, and then look at this. I did not get all the statuses I wanted. I did on the guys on the right side. The middle guy didn't. All of the enemies around, I did get lots of statuses though. Very snazzy damage, if you ask me. And then if we were to add in the Hound, and then make it even crazier by like a heat inherit build, since we're doing heat procs on our 4. And now we come over here. That's pretty good damage. And something else that's really cool about it is just how it works, or like the radius. Look at it. It throws all these drones out, and they go out a pretty long distance in every direction around you. Quite snazzy. Ooga booga. I really like Lavos. I like how all of his abilities sound too, and how they look. He's really, really interesting and really good, and very entertaining to play as well. Once I level him more and use him more and work on like some interesting builds, that'll be cool to see. I originally was thinking maybe helmets, but I'm sick of pillage, and I kind of want to make use of him without a helmet. So I think that's what I'll probably do. I'm going to make, if I do a Lavos max investment build video, I think it's going to be without any helmet ability. That way I can just choose whatever element I want on the run, which is very snazzy. And then I have all this stuff. Because I think I can make it work. It can work, because he's got a lot of versatility to him. If you don't have Lavos, I strongly recommend trying him out. I want to say invest into him, but at the same time, there's a good chance that Lavos might be the next Prime Warframe. The next Prime is almost certainly going to be either Zaku or Lavos. So there might be the chance you like invest a bunch of Forma and time and shards into him, and then they come out with the Prime. So, you know, invest at your own risk. But he's still very much worth getting. He's really cool. Look at his snakes, dude. The little snakes. I love that. He's an alchemist with snakes. Very, very snazzy. El Poppy approves. That's it for the video. If you have anything interesting about Lavos to let me know in the comments, then make sure you let me know so I can, you know, have said information and use it when building stuff on him. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe. Adios.